Hey, what's up? So this is called attic mold caused by poor grading and poor crawl space. So, how does mold get in the attic from the water outside? It's easy. So here you got poor grading. The downspouts poorly sloped. You can see it, puddles. Then here's your crawl space, which is poorly designed. We have a lot of videos on that. You can see the crawl space been leaking and wet. Now, moist crawl spaces will, they'll evaporate into the house. Okay, high vapor pressure will go to low vapor pressure. And sure, they have ventilation, poor grading. Here's more shots of the crawl space. And that's how you get into the crawl space from the outside. And so, let's talk about that before we get to the attic. So, when you have a moist crawl space, first of all, if your grading is poor, hydrostatic pressure, water gets underneath the foundation, water infiltrates into the crawl space, and if it's not draining properly, some people put interior waterproofing systems in crawl spaces. Some will waterproof the outside, but fix the grading, fix your gutters, make sure there's no water next to your house, no sprinkler heads, none of that kind of stuff. Make sure your swimming pool, when you drain it, goes somewhere else. Hopefully not in your neighbor's yard either. But so water gets in this crawl space, it evaporates and goes up through the house. It's not rocket science. And so also there's other water sources in homes. There's a humidifier, you see that thing right there. And basically a lot of attic molds are caused by humidifiers that are left on. Okay, and ventless heaters, there's one right there. So this guy had all kind of problems. He had a humidifier, a ventless heater, okay, and now we moved the insulation, and that's not really a good picture, but that's all mold behind the insulation on the outside walls. So this house had a lot of mold. And look, of course, I want house plants, parrot water dish. Yeah, that's not going to be a whole lot of water. Dog water dish. All these things cause moisture, but when you have a lot of moisture caused by big mammoth things like a wet crawl space or a humidifier that's running, this is what happens. So in this particular attic, you can start to see, this is really an old house, you can see the new sheeting. So that, the roof was newer, okay, and they replaced the sheeting. And that's another thing is, you let's say you buy a house and you look up in the attic and there's some new boards and new sheeting here and there. And, you got to think it. So it's on the north side. Well, was it hail? Probably not. Did a tree fall down? Yeah, maybe, So always do a CLUE report, C-L-U-E. That tells you if there's been insurance claims on the home. You can check that out. They stay on the property for a while. Chances are shading sometimes, sure. But most mold in attic on sheeting, and if you test it, it's like cladosporium. Usually it's not like a slime mold unless you have a leak, like a flashing leak or a hole in the roof, or a hole caused by wildlife. Anyway, so, yeah, there's a time where we would go in people's attics and we take mold tests, which is fine. I don't know, if you see mold, you smell mold, you got mold. Here you can actually see the difference. See the sheeting here is newer and that's older. This house has had problems before this guy bought it, okay? This ain't the first time this happened. Well, when the crawl space is wet, it doesn't, if it's wet today and it was wet yesterday, it was probably wet the whole time because it was built wrong. And so let's zoom in on this mold here in the attic. And there we go. There we go. And so, whether it's black mold, and you can see also here the sheeting. See the sheeting is lifting because what happens is when you got humidity in your crawl space, that also causes the wood to expand because of vapor pressure gets up there. It can get up there through thermal bypass.